What is up, everybody? Welcome back once again to Hot Toys Hotline. As always, if you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel. I currently have a goal of 1,250 subscribers, and I'm sitting at around 1,100 subscribers. So if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. As some of you may know, we do have a 1,000 subscriber celebration giveaway being announced very soon. You must be subscribed in order to enter, so you might as well give yourself a head start and subscribe to the channel. That way you know you'll be entered, and also drop a like on this video. Guys, I'm bringing back an old series today that many have asked me about. If you're an older viewer or if you've gone through my older videos, you'll be familiar with a series called Copper Flop. A figure was announced this morning that I wanted to talk about specifically, so of course I'm going to bring back the series with this one. I won't be doing this for every announcement moving forward. However, for more special or controversial figures, I definitely want to talk about them in this format. This morning, guys, we did get some announcements for the 100th anniversary of the Walt Disney Company. Now, officially in October, the Walt Disney Company will be 100 years old. It's a very exciting time if you're a Disney fan like me, and it's pretty exciting that Hot Toys is putting out some releases to celebrate this. So without further ado, we're going to get into the 6-scale announcement for the 100th year anniversary of the Walt Disney Company from Hot Toys. So really quick, before we take a look at the photos, guys, we have the Iron Man Mark VII 100th anniversary celebration exclusive. Now, before we get into it, I want to read some of this literature here. This says 2023 marks the 100th anniversary of the Walt Disney Company. And to commemorate this remarkable occasion, the invincible Iron Man gives his signature look a unique twist, now donning the new platinum-inspired style to join the world's most famous mouse and his pals for the milestone celebration. A little bit further down, we see this figure is an exclusive item with limited quantity of only 1,500 units, only available in selected markets. I don't know, guys. I'm seeing the endgame stealth suit cap all over again. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. So as you can see, guys, we have the Iron Man Mark VII repainted right here for the Disney 100th year celebration. To me, when I look at these colors, guys, I see the Mark V diecast. I really do. These colors are very similar, if not identical, to how the Mark V diecast is painted. I do think it looks pretty slick on the Mark VII. I'm not going to lie to you. I do very much enjoy how it looks. Moving on, kind of the star of the show here is going to be this incredible Avengers Celebration display base. I think this looks pretty fantastic. I love the reflective quality to it. You could see here, you could see the reflection of Iron Man in this left side here and towards this part here. I love that Avengers logo behind them. I think the colors of this suit paired with how this display base looks is very cool. When I'm looking at this display base, it looks to me like the Mark I display base reused, at least the bottom part, of course. But I do very much love that Marvel plaque. If we zoom in, you'll see there's a bunch of different designs within the font. I think this display base is very grand, and I very much appreciate the detail that it was put into this display base. Of course, part of it is reused. However, I think overall as a package, this is definitely reminiscent of a celebration style base. And I think it's very cool, again, that they gave us that Avengers logo. I think that's really neat. And as you guys see right here, this is the D100 version. So, of course, that is D100, representing the 100 years of the Disney Company. Again, guys, this looks very slick. I do like how it looks. If you guys know me, you know the Mark VII is my all-time favorite Iron Man suit. So I do have a bias in terms of wanting to pick this up because it is an Iron Man Mark VII figure. It does look really good in this colorway. I'm not going to lie to you. Now, is it better than the OG? Of course not. The OG is always the best in my opinion, but this does look really cool. And I will say, as I mentioned earlier, if you have the Iron Man Mark V, this looks very similar. They'll probably look really good together. If you have them next to each other, they're going to look fantastic. Or if you have the OG Iron Man Mark VII or the Midas, having them all together would look really neat. And of course, we have that open armor Mark VII coming too. So if you're a big Mark VII fan, you can make a whole Mark VII army at this point. But definitely really cool. I love that paint job. Of course, they're just showing us these interchangeable forearm pieces. I believe these all did come with the original Mark VII. Of course, I did not point out, but you do have the Hot Toys exclusive tag on all these photos because this is an exclusive figure. 1,500 pieces worldwide, guys. That's crazy. Now, as we're looking at this photo here again of this beautiful display base, I did want to bring up what we were talking about earlier, and that's kind of the exclusivity of this figure. Now, of course, with the endgame cap, the stealth suit cap, when it went up on Sideshow, it was an absolute nightmare. I was lucky enough to be able to pick one up, but I got in literally right as it went up. If you were a minute late, guys, it was an absolute crap show. The website was crashing on people, so a lot of people didn't even get a fair shake at it. It's fine if you go for something and you miss out because you weren't quick enough, but the fact that you go in and you can't even access the website trying to get what you want, definitely a bit unfortunate. And unfortunately, guys, I do foresee that happening again. Now, maybe Sideshow will switch it up if and when they end up getting this figure, but I'm not very optimistic of that. I do think it's going to be a very similar situation to what we saw with the Endgame Stealth Suit cap. So I'm hoping I'm able to pick one up. If I'm not able to, I won't be that disappointed because I do have the Iron Man Mark VII in my display. However, being a big Disney fan, I think this would be really cool. The next thing I wanted to address, guys, and we'll move on to another photo here, is how much do I think this set's going to be? Now, I foresee this being bare minimum like $415, to be honest with you. I could even see this set reaching like the $450 range. Now, if it's similar again to the Endgame Stealth Suit cap release on Sideshow, there won't be any payment plan options. They make you pay that up front. So being this is going to be a very expensive set, that's also going to suck for those of us that use payment plans like I do, because you're going to have to pay that $400+ up front right then and there. Of course, if this figure does go in stock instantly and it ships instantly like the Endgame cap, you may be able to use coupons. I know Sideshow was weird too with the Endgame cap where they wouldn't even allow you to use rewards, but some of the other exclusives that were in stock instantly like the Mark 46, you were able to use coupons. So I guess we just have to wait and see. But again, I see it being bare minimum $415 and upwards of that $450 range, depending on how crazy they want to go with the price. And that is going to sting for those of us that do payment plans typically, and especially if you have a lot of pre-orders that you're already paying for, because you're going to have to pay for this one out of pocket up front, most likely, unless Sideshow changes up what they did before. So yeah, that's my prediction on the price. I love this photo here. He just has his arms out like, bring it on. That's kind of very reminiscent of Tony Stark's attitude. So I think that's pretty cool. I do like these photos. And again, the display base is really cool. And I do also like the option to separate the rest of the display base and just have the bottom part. Of course, most of us, if we're able to get our hands on this, we're going to use that whole Avengers logo and everything. That looks really cool in my opinion, but it's nice that you have that option. Now, guys, the next question I want to answer, which is definitely a big topic of discussion, and the main reason I wanted to put up this video is this just another repaint? And unfortunately, guys, I'm a bit disappointed by this. I know I said that I very much enjoy how this looks, but I have to be honest with you. For the 100th year celebration of the Walt Disney Company, I expected more. Now, when you think 100 years of Disney, what things come to mind? Well, I think of classic characters. I think of Mickey Mouse. I think of Minnie Mouse. I think of Daffy Duck. I think of Goofy, you know, all these different beloved characters. Now, I know the stuff I'm throwing out at you, it's not a typical release from Hot Toys, but that's not to say that they couldn't do it. This is a special occasion, you know. I wish they would have taken a stab at that kind of stuff. Now, I do understand, of course, we have over 80 Iron Man figures at this point, and that is for good reason because they are hot sellers. So I'm not surprised that they did another repaint of an Iron Man, but it's just a bit disappointing. Now, some other stuff I would love to see for 100 years of Disney. I don't know, another Davy Jones figure, guys, another Johnny Depp Jack Sparrow. We've seen some other Disney releases in the past. Not long ago, last year, we got an announcement for Buzz Lightyear. We've had a Pooh and Piglet 2-pack in the past. We had Maleficent. We had an Emma Watson figure from Beauty and the Beast. So there's been a lot of cool Disney stuff. So it's not to say that Hot Toys couldn't take a stab at this stuff. This is just their more safe option. It's Iron Man. They know it's going to sell. And they're also limiting the amount of units. And those units are going to sell out. So it's an easy cash grab for them. So I totally get it from a business perspective. But from a fan's perspective, not only of Hot Toys, but Disney, this is a bit disappointing. It seems lazy to me. Again, it's another repaint. Of course, it remains to be seen any different improvements that may or may not have been made to the Mark VII as a whole once you hold them next to each other, once we have this in hand. However, again, this is just a very easy repaint cash grab. As much as I love that display base and I do like how this looks, it's certainly disappointing, and I would love to see if we get more stuff from this 100th anniversary line. Seeing that the official 100th anniversary date is not until October, there is plenty of time for them to possibly put out more stuff. Can you imagine if we got a Jack Sparrow and Davy Jones 2-pack? Now, I know seeing another Johnny Depp figure may be out of the question because of all the recent legal stuff. However, I would love to see them take a crack at another Jack Sparrow. And that Davy Jones is pretty old at this point. It's a massive grail. And I think if they redid it, even if it's just a repaint with the same parts, it would look absolutely incredible to today's standards of paint and such. And I would love to get my hands on that figure in a newer fashion. But that's just me, guys. But let's bring back the main camera and let's answer our final question, guys. Now, our final question is going to be, is this a cop or flop? Now, you guys may be surprised by this. I told you the Mark VII is my all-time favorite Iron Man suit. And I mentioned many times that I love how this looks and I love the display base. However, I think this is going to be a flop for me, guys. And that doesn't mean that I'm not going to end up picking it up. It just means that when I'm looking at all the different possibilities for such a special celebration as the 100th anniversary of the Walt Disney Company, I expect a little bit more risk, not just another Iron Man repaint. Again, I would love to see some classic Disney characters. Heck, even Blitzway is working on some Disney figures like Mickey Mouse and Stitch and Daffy Duck. So why couldn't Hot Toys take a stab at it? I'm just a little bit puzzled by that. Again, I understand the Iron Man is a hot seller for them. It's easy money. It's a cash grab. At 1,500 units, it's going to be gone like no tomorrow. I totally get it. But I do hope throughout the year they do take a stab at some more 100th year stuff. Again, I would love to see some more Pirates of the Caribbean stuff or some classic Disney stuff. Again, they've done some Disney stuff in the past, so it shows that they're able to do it and willing to do it. And I think now is the time. Now is the time to bust that special stuff out. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Is this a cop for you? Or is this a flop? Do you want to see more from Hot Toys? Of course, share your thoughts on figures you would like to see from this 100th anniversary. If we were to get any more from them, of course, that's a big if because we don't know. This could be it, but there's plenty of opportunity throughout the year for them to do some more. So definitely drop down your suggestions down below. I would love to hear them, and I look forward to interacting with you all. I hope you enjoyed this video. Of course, again, I'm kind of reviving an old series. I'm not going to do this for every single announcement, but the stuff that's a bit more controversial where I want to share my thoughts on it, or it's a bit more special, I'm going to do a video on it moving forward. So let me know what you guys think of this series. And finally, as always, subscribe to the channel and please drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it. But that's all I got for you guys. I will see you next time.